On Barry Charles' Footy Show tonight. Yes, the Bulldogs. They got to make a decision. Does Lachlan Galvin go to 6? Does Lachlan Galvin go to 7? Does he stay at 14? Or does he go out the door back to reserve grade, baby? Because the Bulldogs are plummeting. If they lose this week with the same rotation they're going on, look out. Big issues. Metcalf out for the season. No good for the Warriors fans there. No good for the Warriors fans. Dear oh dear, can they get it done without him? Well, they've got Tanner Boyd and Timothy Martin and Bloom for late in the season. Can Jet Cleary get a game? We will see. Brandon Smith, will he return and play this weekend? And Shibasaki is the biggest Origin bolter ever since Adam Mogg and Alfie Langer's return from this Super League. Well, let's get to it right here, right now, on your favourite channel, Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like and subscribe if you like what you're watching. Let's get to it, guys and gals. Yes. Well, what do they got to do, the Bulldogs, to get this season from crumbling? It's a great season so far, but they're now second. They lose again, they could be third. Pressure is precious on them if they don't win this week. But if they win, all the pressure goes off them. But the question mark is, who is the best for the position? So I tried to lock down where Galvin should play. There's pretty much a few schools of thought here, but I tried to put it down to, he can stay at 14. Would that work? Don't think so. There's potential for him to play lock. I think that's the other option if they don't want to really change the apple cart much and just move players around from there. That's another option. But this is pretty much the key options if you want to also obviously drop Sexton out the door, or do you put Galvin at 6 and move the Burton around? So Burton could either go to fullback. Basically what will happen here is Montoya is dropped, and if Burton goes to fullback, Tracy goes to the wing, and if Burton goes to the centres, then Cherry goes to the wing and Montoya falls out with Wilson on the other side. So that's basically where it's going. Montoya, has a few mistakes in him at times. He's a solid player, but sometimes he makes less mistakes. So that's where you could drop a player as well. Or you drop Sexton, easy as that, Galvin and for Sexton. That's where basically is what it comes down to. Where do you think he should go? Where should they drop? That is the biggest question mark you got to think to yourself. My humble opinion, if I'm thinking of how the season is going, probably if you're not going to bite the bullet, I'll be playing him 13 this season. I would play him at 13. He'd be another kicking option. Kurt Mann can go into a different position. There's no problem with that. I think that's probably the way. If you want to get the X Factor out there playing, that's the way it goes. You keep Sexton for his kicking game. And I think that's a way they could go forward, potentially. And Sexton stays at the Bulldogs. Now, question mark, they reckon Sexton maybe won't go to that next level. That's the question mark. But if it works, I think they will give it to the end of the season potentially here. And I think that's why he hasn't cut Sexton yet. Because if you keep Sexton and you can probably get him at a lower price, if he wants to go for the bigger price, then he'll go. But if he wants a lower price, and they say, Galvin, you're playing 13, this is where you're going. Interesting days ahead. Let's get to the Warriors. Luke Metcalf. Dear oh dear. Who is going to replace him? The way that Andrew Webster selects, I think it's a pretty simple answer. It will be Timothy Martin. But if you don't want to change the apple cart and bring someone in who is a good goal kicker, then just a straight swap, put Tanner Boyd in, Timothy Martin stays at 14. So the only reason I go for Tanner Boyd is the goal kicking. Very good goal kicker. And if he's a very good goal kicker, there could be the difference from winning the comp. And if he's over 80% average, Tanner Boyd, look out. That is the big thing about Tanner Boyd, and that's why the bottom team, I would go with Tanner Boyd, but then again, Timothy Martin is more proven at NRL level, but Tanner Boyd, I think, could do a job more similar to Luke Metcalf than compared to Timamani. But if you're going to do a straight swap, that's the way I would be going. Jet Cleary is just a little bit too early for that selection. But what about the props, folks? Seriously, what about the props for the Warriors? Barnett's gone. They look like a rebel of themselves. Fisher Harris, you know what you're going to get out of them. Near Corey, Jackson Ford, these guys need to step up. Dimitrik, Bunty Afoa. I mean, the players on the tenor. Stowers, all these ones on the cusp of making the team or in the team, Jacob Laban, the likes. They need to go to another level. And I understand it's hard for the younger ones to go to the other level, but Bunty Afoa, Jackson Ford, Nia Kore, these are the older heads in the game. They need to come out and really deliver for the Warriors. What do I think about the Warriors' chances for the season? The next 3 weeks are big. They win all 3. Top 4 is just about guaranteed. Not guaranteed, but it's getting closer. They have to win the next 3 games. They're all winnable games. Titans, Knights, and the Tigers. They win all those games, and they beat Tigers next week. Win the next 2. They're pretty much in the finals. They win those 3 games. They're pretty much there. Just need one more win, and they're guaranteed finals. But I think the top 4 is the big one, and they stay in 4th. People are saying, let's go to 5th. Hell no. Hell no. Why would you want to go to 5th? Because you get a home final in the first round, but not the second round. If you get 4th and lose, you get a home round in the next one. That's where the Warriors are. And if you win, you get a home round in the preliminary final. That's where the Warriors want to be. Yes, Canberra Raiders have beaten them twice this season. If they come 4th, and that's where most likely their best opportunity is going to be, looking at the draw, unless Bulldogs fall off a cliff. The Raiders will be top. No doubt about it. They are going to be in the minor premiers. You can lock that in, folks. The Raiders will be in the minor premiers. So the Warriors are trying to hold on to 4th. You got the Broncos coming. You got Panthers coming. You got the Roosters coming. Can any of them win 3 more in a row and the Warriors lose 3 in a row? That's the question. Or even, can any of them win 6 of their last 8 or whatever they have left? That's what those teams have got to do, even 7. So the Warriors only probably got to win 5 or 6 for top 4. Probably, I'd say 5, and they may just be enough to get them there, just with the gap they got. But they're going to win these next 3. Simple as that, the Warriors have got to win those next 3. Do I think they will do it? I think they will. I mean, losing Metcalf is... But again, I think they've got the players there enough to be able to get the job done. But to win the premiership is probably a different story now. Metcalf's played good all season. Can Tanner Boyd just come in, or Timothy Mana come in and just be smooth sailing? That'll be the question mark going forward on that. Now, Brandon Smith, will he be playing this weekend? Normally when they pick someone there, they're going to pick him. But maybe they just want a reassurance that if, just in case he did come right, he'll come in. They desperately need him to play well. But the question mark is, will he even play well? Because normally when you come off this injury, the rest of the season, he'll be struggling. He won't even play that great. Let's just be honest. He'll play okay, but he won't be fully back to his best. Brandon Smith, he'll need the whole off-season, and then he'll be back to his best. But for the end of the season, but still, they need to win games now. The pressure's on. If he gets selected, again, good luck to him. And let's finish off with Shibasaki. Yes. The bolter from nowhere. Was he even needed? I don't think so. I personally would have had Reece Walsh there and kept Hammer in the centres. Less risky, but in saying that, you sometimes got to take risks to get the reward. So good on for Shibasaki. From the last time we had some shock selections, it was like Adam Mogg, Alfie Langer, and then there's some way back in the day, but I don't know nothing about it, so why talk about it? But Adam Mogg, there was a shock decision. They got the win there, and Alfie Langer come out of nowhere from the Super League at 1 second. Shibasaki on debut get himself a victory in Queensland. In New South Wales, that they haven't done since 2013 to win the decider. We will find out. But interesting times for the Bulldogs this weekend. Interesting times here for some teams that are playing this weekend. For others, they get a chance to rest and figure out the thing. But Bulldogs need to figure out who's going to play where. Otherwise, it could derail this season as Canberra Raiders look to fly ahead. Anyway, that's Barrett Charles for the show for this episode. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you with another video soon.